She texted, "Just slept with your friend. Wanted you to hear it from me." I replied, "Thank for the evidence." Turns out she texted the wrong number, my lawyer's. Her court summons arrived before her apology. Original post. I, 35 male. Am sitting here with a beer, still processing how spectacularly my ex-fiancée Melissa, 33, managed to destroy her own life. We were together 4 years, engaged for 6 months. I thought we were solid until last Tuesday, when everything imploded in the most absurd way possible. Here's what happened. I'd been working with a divorce attorney, Gerald Hoffman, helping my brother through his messy split. Gerald and I had exchange numbers because I was handling some of the paperwork coordination for my brother, who was traveling for work. Melissa didn't know about this. She also didn't know that when she got my new work phone last month, she accidentally saved Gerald's number as Derek, work, instead of my actual new number. I'd given her both numbers at the same time when she was distracted by her phone game. Classic Melissa, half listening while claiming she's paying attention. So Tuesday afternoon, I'm at my desk when Gerald calls me. "Derek, we need to talk. Now, can you come to my office? Is everything okay with my brother's case? Just come. Bring your personal phone." 20 minutes later, I'm in his office. He slides his phone across the desk. There's a text thread from an unknown number. "Unknown. Just slept with your friend Kenny. Wanted you to hear it from me first. We're in love, and I'm done pretending. By the way, he's so much better in bed than you ever were asterisk. Gerald, thank you for the evidence. This will be very helpful. Unknown. Evidence? WTF? Derek, why are you being so calm? Unknown. Derek, answer me. Unknown. This isn't funny. Unknown. I know you're reading these." Gerald looked at me with this mix of sympathy and professional interest. "I'm assuming this Melissa is your fiancée, and Kenny would be my best friend since college," I said, feeling my stomach drop through the floor. "Are you seriously telling me she meant to send this to me, but sent it to you instead?" "I'm afraid so. I did a reverse lookup on the number. Melissa Thornton, correct? Lives at..." He rattled off her apartment address from before she moved in with me. I just stared at the phone. For years. And she announces her cheating to my lawyer, thinking it's me. "Derek," Gerald said carefully, "I know this isn't my usual area, but given the circumstances, would you like me to handle this for you? Pro bono. Consider it a wedding gift. Or rather, a non-wedding gift." The way he said it, so matter of fact, almost made me laugh. Almost. What exactly would handling it involve? Well, she's admitted to infidelity in writing. You own the condo you both live in. She has no legal claim to it. No kids. No shared assets except a joint checking account for household expenses. This could be very clean. I thought about Melissa at home right now, probably wondering why I hadn't responded to her dramatic confession. Probably pacing around MY condo, using MY Netflix, sitting on MY couch. "Do it," I said. "Everything by the book. Legal and clean." Gerald smiled. "I'll need a retainer, but like I said, pro bono. Let's call it $1. I handed him $1 from my wallet. He actually wrote me a receipt. "Now," he said, pulling up documents on his computer, "let's discuss immediate steps." Update 1. 3 days later. The last 72 hours have been insane. After leaving Gerald's office, I went home and acted completely normal. Melissa was there, nervous as hell, watching me like I might explode. She made my favorite dinner, definitely guilt cooking. "How was your day?" she asked, voice slightly higher than normal. "Pretty good. Productive meetings." I sat down and ate like nothing was wrong. "You?" "Oh, normal. Just normal stuff." I could see her phone on the counter, face down. She kept glancing at it. "No word from Derek at work?" she asked, trying to sound casual. "Which Derek? There's like 3 in my department." Your new work number, Derek?" "Oh, that phone's been dead all day. Forgot to charge it." "What?" The relief on her face was instant. "No reason. Just wondering if you'd heard from him." "The Derek? You Derek? At work." Girl was spiraling. I just kept eating my pasta. Meanwhile, Gerald was working his magic. By Thursday morning, he had filed paperwork to formally evict Melissa from my condo. 30 days notice is required by law. Frozen the joint checking account pending separation of funds. Drafted a comprehensive separation agreement. Prepared a civil suit for alienation of affection against Kenny. Yes, that's still a thing in my state. The best part? Melissa had no idea what was coming. Thursday afternoon, she was at her yoga class when the process server showed up. Gerald had timed it perfectly. Server right in the studio lobby in front of her whole social circle. The papers included formal eviction notice, separation agreement, notice of the civil suit against Kenny, a cease and desist regarding any jointly used credit cards. I wasn't there, but her friend Natasha was. She called me later, confused. Derek, what the hell? Melissa got served legal papers at yoga? She completely lost it. Started screaming about how you weren't supposed to know yet. What does that mean? Ask Melissa, I said. Or better yet, ask Kenny. The phone went silent. Kenny? You're Kenny. Not anymore. That night, Melissa came home in tears. Full meltdown mode. Mascara everywhere. Nose running the works. How did you find out? I was going to tell you properly. This isn't fair. You did tell me. Well, you told my lawyer, thinking it was me. Her face went white. What? I showed her the screenshot Gerald had sent me. Watched the realization dawn on her face. No. That's not. I saved your number. You saved Gerald Hoffman's number as me. My divorce attorney. Who, by the way, says thanks for the written confession. This is entrapment. You tricked me. I didn't trick anyone. You couldn't be bothered to check who you were texting before announcing your affair. That's on you. She tried every manipulation tactic in the book. Tears. I'm so sorry. It meant nothing. Anger. You're overreacting. People make mistakes. Bargaining. We can work through this. Couples therapy. Threats. I'll take half of everything. Guilt. For years. You're throwing away 4 years. Actually, I said, you threw away 4 years when you slept with Kenny. I'm just taking out the trash. Update 2, 1 week later. The entitlement started ramping up immediately. Melissa refused to accept that she had zero legal claim to my condo. She actually hired a lawyer, some ambulance chaser, who took her case, probably thinking there'd be a payday. Her lawyer sent Gerald a demand letter asking for 6 months of living expenses, half the condo's value, emotional damages for the public humiliation of being served at yoga, her engagement ring back, which she'd dramatically thrown at me during an argument. Gerald's response was beautiful. He sent back screenshots of her confession, property records showing I had bought the condo 2 years before meeting her, bank records showing she'd contributed exactly $0 to the mortgage, a photo of the engagement ring she'd thrown, which hit my TV and cracked the screen, an invoice for the TV repair. But the real entertainment came from Kenny. This absolute walnut actually showed up in my office. Bro, we need to talk. We're not brothers get out before I call security. Come on, man. You're suing me? Over a girl? That's not cool. You slept with my fiancé. That's not cool. It just happened. We were both drunk at Melissa's birthday party. Her birthday was 3 months ago, Kenny. Yes, so Melissa said you've been together for months. Plural. While coming to my house, eating my food, playing my PlayStation. His face went red. Look, I don't have money for a lawsuit. I work at Guitar Center, man. Then you should have thought about that before sleeping with an engaged woman. She said you guys were basically over. Did she? When? During our wedding venue tours last month? Or when we were cake tasting 2 weeks ago? He had nothing to say to that. Security escorted him out. Then Melissa's mother got involved. Dorothy is a piece of work. Think every entitled boomer Karen stereotype rolled into one person. She called me 15 times before I finally answered. Derek, what is this nonsense about evicting my daughter? She cheated on me, Dorothy. So, men have been cheating on women for centuries. One little mistake and you destroy her life. One little mistake that she's been making for 3 months. You're being dramatic. Take her back. She chose you, didn't she? Actually, she chose Kenny. I just own the apartment. This is financial abuse. I'll call the police. Please do. Tell them your daughter confessed to cheating via text and now has to follow legal eviction procedures. I'm sure they'll rush right over. She hung up, but the crazy didn't stop there. Melissa tried to break into the condo while I was at work. My security camera caught her trying to use her old key. I'd change the locks, then attempting to jimmy the window, then sitting on the front step, crying while calling someone and gesturing wildly. That someone turned out to be her dad, Robert. Decent guy, honestly. He called me that evening. Derek, I'm sorry about all this. I really am. Thanks, Robert. Dorothy's been filling my head with nonsense, but I saw the security footage you posted. Melissa, she's not handling this well. That's not my problem anymore. No, it's not. I just wanted you to know that not all of us are taking her side. What she did was wrong. You're doing what you need to do. One sane person in that family, at least. Update 3, 2 weeks later. Things escalated when Melissa realized I was serious about the eviction. She went full nuclear. First, she tried to claim I was abusive. Posted all over social media about how I was controlling and financially manipulative and how she escaped to Kenny's loving arms. Girl really thought she was the victim. Gerald shut that down quick with a cease and desist. Her posts mentioning me by name disappeared within hours. Then came the truly unhinged move. She tried to sell him wise stuff. I came home from work to find my vintage guitar collection missing. 3 guitars, probably worth $8,000 total. Called the police immediately. While I was on the phone with them, I got a notification from a local music shop social media. They just acquired some beautiful vintage pieces. I drove over there with the cops. Sure enough, they were my guitars. The shop owner was confused, but cooperative. He had security footage of Melissa selling them, claiming they were gifts from her ex that she was legally entitled to sell. She got arrested at Kenny's apartment, in her pajamas. At 2 p.m., Kenny tried to intervene and almost got arrested too for interfering. The whole thing was on his apartment complex's security camera, and somehow, I suspect his neighbor who hates them. It ended up on the local community Facebook page. The comments were gold. Isn't it the girl who cheated on her fiancé with the Guitar Center guy? Elmio, she really thought she could sell his stuff? Girl bye. Team Derek, honestly. Kenny couldn't afford his own guitars, so his girlfriend stole them? Skull. Melissa made bail the next day. Her mother paid it. Naturally. Then Dorothy called me again. You have my daughter arrested. Over some guitars. She committed felony theft, Dorothy. That's what happens. They're just things. You're ruining her life over things. No, she ruined her life over Kenny's thing. I'm just protecting my property. You're a monster, and your daughter's a thief. Guess we all have our labels. The prosecutor offered Melissa a plea deal, probation and restitution if she pled guilty to misdemeanor theft. Her lawyer advised her take it. She didn't. She wanted a trial because she genuinely believed a jury would side with her. Gerald couldn't stop laughing when he heard. She wants to go to trial? For theft with video evidence? After confessing to infidelity? This is Christmas morning for prosecutors. Meanwhile, Kenny was cracking under the pressure of the civil suit. He tried to settle. Offer me $2,000 to drop it. The filing fee was more than that. I told him. It's all I have. Sell your PlayStation. Oh wait, that's mine too since you played it at my house. You're being petty. I'm being litigious. There's a difference. His parents got involved next. They actually drove up from 3 hours away to meet with me. Nice people. Mortified by their son's behavior. We raised him better than this, his mom said near tears. I'm sure you did. What will it take to make this go away? His dad asked. He's supposed to start community college in the fall. This could ruin his future. He should have thought about that before sleeping with an engaged woman. They offered $10,000. I considered it, and a written apology, and he stays away from me permanently, and he covers all my legal fees. They agreed immediately. Kenny had to take out a student loan to pay me. Poetic justice, really. Update 4, 1 month later. The trial was a disaster. For Melissa, she showed up in what I can only describe as an outfit from How to Look Innocent 101. Cardigan, pearl necklace, hair in a bun, like she was cosplaying a kindergarten teacher. The prosecutor played the security footage. There was Melissa, clear as day, loading my guitars in her SUV. The shop owner testified that she'd specifically said they were hers to sell. Her signature on the sale receipt was shown on a giant screen. Her lawyer tried to argue that as my fiancée, she had implied permission to access my belongings. The judge actually laughed. Out loud. Counselor, they weren't married. She was evicted. She broke in and stole property. What implied permission are you referring to? Then Melissa took the stand. Against her lawyer's advice. It was magnificent. She tried to cry. No tears came. She tried to explain how emotionally distressed she was. The prosecutor asked if she was emotionally distressed while cheating on me for 3 months. Objection sustained, but jury heard it. The best part was when she claimed the guitars were basically hers too, because she supported Derek emotionally while he collected them. Prosecutor, how did you support him? Melissa, I was there. Prosecutor, where were you on May 15th of this year? Melissa, I don't remember. Prosecutor, according to these text messages, you were at a hotel with Kenny Rodriguez while Mr. Davidson was at a vintage guitar show. Is that emotional support? Her lawyer objected so hard I thought he'd hurt himself. Jury deliberated for 45 minutes. Guilty. The judge gave her 2 years probation, 200 hours community service, and ordered full restitution plus my legal fees. About $15,000 total. Dorothy screamed that it was a miscarriage of justice. Got herself removed from the courtroom. Robert just looked tired. He nodded at me as they left, a sort of sorry about all this gesture. Melissa tried to approach me outside the courthouse. Derek, please. I'm sorry. I've lost everything. Good. I loved you. You love my condo. There's a difference. Kenny left me. Not my problem. Where am I supposed to go? I genuinely don't care. Her friend Natasha drove her away. Found out later that most of their friend group had dropped Melissa after the truth came out. Turns out nobody likes a cheater who plays victim. Final update, 3 months later. It's been 3 months since everything went down. Figure I'd give one last update. Melissa never did pay the restitution. Claimed she couldn't afford it. The court wasn't sympathetic. They garnished her wages at the marketing firm where she works. 25% of every paycheck goes to me now. Well, for the next 3 years. She tried to contest the eviction even after the criminal conviction. Claimed she'd established tenancy. Gerald handled it in one hearing. Judge basically told her to stop wasting the court's time. Kenny's working 2 jobs to pay back his parents for the loan they took out. Saw him delivering pizzas last week. We made eye contact. He drove away so fast he forgot to close his trunk. Dorothy still sends me nasty texts from different numbers. I don't read them anymore. Just forward them to Gerald, who adds them to a harassment file. We're at 47 messages now. If she hits 50, Gerald says we can file for a restraining order. Robert divorced Dorothy. Yeah, that was a plot twist. Apparently, Melissa's behavior was the last straw in a long line of Dorothy enabling their daughter's terrible choices. He called me to apologize again and mentioned he was getting his own place. Good for him. The best part? Remember that engagement ring Melissa threw at me? The one that cracked my TV? I had it appraised for the insurance claim. Turns out it's worth way more than I paid for it. The diamond has some rare clarity rating I don't understand. Sold it for $12,000. Paid off the rest of my car. Melissa found out through mutual friends. Had an absolute meltdown on Instagram Live. Started ugly crying about how that ring was a symbol of their love, and I had no right to sell it. Someone screen recorded it and turned it into a TikTok with the caption, "Tell me you're entitled without telling me you're entitled." Got 2 million views last I checked. Her new boyfriend, yeah, she found another sucker already. Tried to contact me on LinkedIn of all places. Said I was harassing Melissa by existing in the same city and asked me to be the bigger man and forgive her. I responded, I don't think about her at all. Blocked him. Heard later he dumped her when he found out the whole story. Apparently, she'd told him I was her abusive ex who'd kicked her out for having male friends. He believed it until someone showed him the court records. Public information's a beautiful thing. As for me, I'm good. Better than good, actually. Started seeing someone new, a lawyer from Gerald's firm, ironically. She thinks the whole story is hilarious. We went to that same yoga studio where Melissa got served. Ran into Natasha, who told me Melissa's banned from there now. Apparently, she kept telling everyone her abuse story, and the owner got sick of the drama. The condo's all mine, redecorated how I want it. Got a new TV, better than the old one. Bought 2 more guitars with Kenny's settlement money. Even started a weekly jam session with some guys from work. Life's pretty solid. The funny thing? If Melissa had just broken up with me like an adult, she'd have been fine. I'd have been hurt, sure, but I'd have moved on. Instead, she had to be dramatic, had to hurt me in the most humiliating way possible, had to text what she thought was me to rub it in. And she texted my lawyer instead. One wrong number. That's all it took to unravel her entire house of cards. Gerald framed that first text exchange. It's hanging in his office conference room with a little plaque. Always double-check your contacts, a cautionary tale. He uses it as a teaching tool for new associates. Says it's the best example of organic evidence generation he's ever seen. Sometimes karma doesn't need any help. But when it does, having a good lawyer on speed dial, or in Melissa's case, accidentally texting one sure doesn't hurt. Oh, and Kenny? Still delivering pizzas. Melissa? Still paying me 25% of her check. Dorothy? Still crazy. Robert? Living his best life in a bachelor pad downtown. Me? I'm sitting here with a beer, my new girlfriend's asleep on the couch, and life's good. Turns out getting that text to the wrong number was the best thing that ever happened to me. Funny how life works out sometimes.